Why are there so many houses for sale right now that nobody's buying? We've got inventory sitting on the market for months, and sellers are scratching their heads wondering what happened to all the bidding wars. I work with buyers and sellers across Maryland every single day, and I can tell you, this market is nothing like it was just a couple years ago. The truth is the market shifted, but most people didn't get the memo, and that's exactly why homes are sitting. If you're thinking about selling or your house has been sitting on the market making you feel like something's wrong with it, stick around because I'm about to explain what's really happening. Hit subscribe if you're a buyer or a seller who wants real-world answers. We're talking about pricing mistakes, interest rate impacts, and presentation problems that are keeping houses stuck. But first, let me show you just how dramatically things have changed. Here's what's wild. Sellers are still pricing like it's 2022, but buyers are shopping like it's 2025. It's not that sellers are pulling numbers out of thin air. They're basing them on what their neighbor got. But you know what? That neighbor just dropped serious cash on brand new roof, HVAC system, white shaker cabinets with quartz countertops, neutral LVP floors, and bathrooms straight out of Pinterest. Meanwhile, your updates? Yeah, they were the latest thing 10 to 12 years ago, and you probably spent a lot of money too. But today, don't expect buyers to pay the same price as the house that's fully up to date. I know it sucks, but that's how this works. And you know what? In 10 to 12 years, that buyer may have to do the same thing when they're ready to sell. It's just the cycle of real estate. And on top of wanting the right look, today's buyers are also showing up with calculators, interest rate charts, and combing through the inspection report like it's a research paper. They're analyzing every detail. Most sellers still think we're in that crazy market where homes flew off the shelf, multiple offers, no inspections, tens of thousands over asking. And yes, that really happened. It was one of those once-in-a-lifetime moments, like empty grocery stores and Zoom everything. The kind of thing our grandkids won't even believe was real. But just like the lockdowns and the masks, that market is gone. The problem right now? No one told the sellers the party is over. But here's the reality check. Inventory is up roughly 20+% year over year, moving us from weeks of supply into months. Those bidding wars, they're about as common as finding money on the sidewalk. That's a massive shift, guys, and it happened fast. But many sellers are still pricing and negotiating like their house is more special than every other house on the market. And I get it. They've built memories, raised families, celebrated holidays, and they carry all that emotion into the price tag. But buyers don't pay for memories. They pay for what the home offers them in today's market. Interest rates remaining significantly higher than the pandemic lows didn't just change monthly payments. It fundamentally changed who can afford to buy. Think about what this means in real numbers. Middle-income buyers can now afford only around 40% of homes compared to 60% in a balanced market. 5 years ago, someone making $75,000 a year could afford about half of the homes for sale. Today, with the same income, they can afford only about 20% of the homes. That's a massive difference. And here's where it really flips. The buyers who are left aren't desperate anymore. They're cautious. A couple of years ago, many people bought homes at 7% interest rate because they were thinking, no big deal, I'll refinance in the next 6 to 12 months when rates drop back to 5.25%. Well, rates didn't drop, and now buyers are realizing this 6.5 to 7% range might be the new normal, at least for a while. So today's buyers, they're only moving forward if they're in a truly stable financial position. They're not banking on refinancing. They're not stretching just to make it work. They're careful. They want inspections, appraisal contingencies, time to think, and they're not going to overpay just because someone else might be interested. Those days are gone. I'm seeing homes that would have sold in 48 hours 2 years ago, now sitting for 60, 90, even 120 days with multiple price cuts. Some drop up to 10% and still sit. Homes priced just under the comps are the ones that are moving. Homes priced above, they're lingering. And then the seller starts asking, what's wrong with my house? The answer? Usually nothing's wrong with the house. It's the pricing strategy. And I'll be real, I get a lot of calls from frustrated sellers who want to hire me because they think their last agent didn't do anything. And sometimes they're right. I'll look at the photos, the marketing, and listen to the feedback the seller says they got. And yes, sometimes the effort just wasn't there. But other times, the agent did everything right, and it's the price that's off. And no amount of great marketing can sell a home that's overpriced for today's market. The psychology completely flipped. Buyers went from, I'll take anything, to, prove to me why your house is worth it. They're comparing your house to 3 other similar homes that are also for sale. They're looking at the condition of your roof, your HVAC system, the windows, whether your kitchen needs updating. They're not buying a house as an investment anymore. They're buying them to live in for the next 10 years, so they want them to be right. This isn't just happening in expensive markets either. I'm seeing this pattern in small towns, suburbs, cities, everywhere. Buyers have options now, and they know it. They're not afraid to walk away from a deal that doesn't make sense. They're not waiving inspections. They're not offering over asking price unless the house is priced below market value to begin with. The market didn't just slow down. It fundamentally changed the power dynamic between buyers and sellers. We went from a seller's market where buyers competed against each other to a market where sellers are competing against each other for a smaller pool of qualified buyers. The rules of the game changed, but half the players didn't get the newsflash. And if you're still operating under the old rules, you're going to keep wondering why your house sits there for month after month. The sellers who are winning right now aren't just the ones with the prettiest homes or the best locations. They're the ones who understand what game they're actually playing. They're reevaluating their price based on what buyers are looking for today. Not just cosmetically, but structurally. Updated kitchens and baths matter, but so do the roof, HVAC, windows, and overall condition. Buyers are comparing homes side by side, and the urgency is gone. The sellers who are succeeding are investing in proper staging, offering credits where it makes sense, and actually listening to showing feedback. And they're working with agents who know how to market to today's more selective buyer. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, whether you're a seller watching your home sit longer than expected, a buyer navigating today's rates, or even an agent feeling the same frustration with listings that just won't move. Drop a comment and tell me what you're seeing in your market. If your house has been sitting on the market or you're thinking about selling, I know it can feel discouraging. You start questioning the house, the market, even yourself. But here's the truth. The market doesn't respond to emotion. It responds to strategy. It rewards sellers who are willing to see things clearly and pivot when needed. I'm Lily Vallario, an award-winning real estate agent in Maryland, and for over 21 years, I've helped thousands of clients navigate every kind of market the right way. Thanks for being here, and I really would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And please don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.